How can you find balance? Good morning. Today's outdoor office. That's BS. Hello my love, welcome to Turkey. I just thought I'd jump outside while the light was so beautiful. So today I want to take you behind the scenes of a day in the life of a digital nomad, business owning mum, full-time travelling on the road. There's no more succinct way to put that. It's all of the things, right? Join me for a typical day. There is no real typical day, but we'll talk about what is typical and what isn't. See behind the scenes. And then let's have a chat about how easy it is or isn't to balance life and business and travel. So, glorious out here right now. It's messing with us a little bit because we went from really hot weather for like 3 months to really quite cold weather in Bulgaria, and we had to leave Bulgaria because it was snowing or about to snow, and the van can't cope with that. And then now we're in Turkey. When we arrived, it was a huge storm, really quite cold as well, and now glorious sunshine. So far this morning, been quite a typical morning. Got up, did my morning routine, had some tea outside. We've had quite a chill, lazy one. We're still on Bulgarian time, so these two didn't actually get out of bed until 10 a.m. It's about 11:30 now, so I've done a load of laundry, typical mum stuff. There's actually laundry facilities here where we're staying, which is quite useful. Swept out the van. That's a daily thing that we have to do, especially here because it's quite sandy and muddy, and that gets tracked in if we're not careful. Now K-Man's making a pot of coffee. I've got about an hour until my first call. So on a Thursday I typically have 2 calls, sometimes 3, but I have a call with one of my VIP clients this morning, which I'm very much looking forward to, and then I've got a break for lunch, and then I've got a call with my mastermind ladies. So this is where I sit for most of my calls. This chair, well, both of these chairs in front actually swivel around, captain's chairs, so they can face forward, which is really useful. So I have it this way round for my calls, and we've got this little desk that slots in. So most of the time when I'm working and on calls, I'll have this set up, and then sometimes if I'm editing or doing other things like that, that's just on my laptop, I might take it outside. Sometimes I also just work on my phone, so when I'm checking in with my clients, I do that in Slack, and I can do that anywhere, anytime, which is really cool as well.
Any more? Is that good?
That's good, thanks. Thank you. Today's outdoor office, pretty great. Hello, look at the camera. Say something funny.
I don't have inspiration. Thanks.
So, real talk. How can you find balance traveling full time with family in a van and running a business? Does business take over? Does business get shunned to the back burner? What happens? I get lots of questions about this, and I understand, because I think that balance is something that I talk about with my clients who are all women, largely mothers, and all business owners. It is a hot topic for us, and there's lots of people who will tell you that balance isn't possible as a mother and a business owner. That's BS. But let's have a conversation about what it looks like in reality for me. The truth is kind of two-sided, as so many things are with van life, or just life in general. Right? There's duality in so much of our lives, and I think I like to be real about that. My business itself is actually very easy to run from the road for several reasons. One is that I've only ever worked part-time in my business. When I first started, the maximum I would ever work was 25 hours a week, and over the last few years, and especially in advance of knowing we were going to travel full time, I was shaping and maneuvering my business and my schedule with it so that we could be sure that it wasn't going to encroach too much on our travel, and that it was going to be able to provide a good balance. So I work typically 12 to 15 hours a week right now. That's not that much in a whole week, and especially when we don't have anything else really vying for our time and putting demands on us. So the rest of the time, our schedule is ours to decide. My husband isn't working, and my daughter is homeschooled lightly. Maybe you've seen my other video on that. So we have lots of flexibility and lots of time freedom because of how I set up my business. So I was very intentional with my business in the beginning. I didn't want it to take up a ton of my time because I love my work, I love what I do, and I do it gladly, and I wanted to always have lots of time for me and lots of time for my family. It's just super important to me. So showing up for my typical bread and butter activities, as I call them, doing client calls, checking in with clients between calls, that's actually very straightforward, very easy. I've had this coaching business for 6 years now, so it's very easy for me to show up for in that way. And I love what I do, and there's challenges in what I do in a good way, but it doesn't feel like something that is difficult to fit in and slot into my life. I do have support, so I have an online business manager, and then we have other people working for her, depending on our different needs in the business, so it's not all on me. So I've set my business up very intentionally to support me and my family living our dream life, and that is with the time and the money. So what that actually looks like is having my calls on 2 days of the week, which means that it makes it much easier for us to plan travel, so we don't tend to move on anywhere or travel anywhere on a Wednesday or a Thursday, because those are my call days. So we like to settle in somewhere typically on a Monday, give ourselves Tuesday to kind of get the lay of the land, know where we are, and then if we're going to move on again, we won't do that until Friday. So that part has been actually really, really easeful. But the thing that I found challenging, if we're being honest, about running a business from the road is any business growth activities, actually carving out time for business growth projects. I have a lot that I'm really excited to be doing in my business, new things that I'm adding into my business, opportunities that I see, ways that I want to serve people. And that can be a tricky one because I don't have that natural rhythm and routine that I've had with my other sort of things that I do every week, week in, week out, like my calls. And because of the nature of those types of activities, you need to be thinking a little bit more big picture, a bit strategically. That requires a little bit of different kind of headspace and bandwidth. And although I have, made progress on some of my business growth projects, it has been slower going and a little bit trickier to fit in to van life than I'd anticipated, but that's okay. And that's, for me, the point of having like a business, what I like to call a dream life business, because It bends and molds and shapes to your life, to your dream life. And right now, my priority is soaking this up, making the most of this time together, making the most of these places that we're exploring. We're not going to be doing this for a really long time. We're actually shortening our travel plans. More on that soon, for good reason. And we're excited about that. It means it's actually a very short season. So I just made the decision to kind of let that go a little bit, to not sweat it and not worry about it, because I know how I want to grow my business. That's not going anywhere. I can make it happen when we are in Ireland, and I just trust the timeline. But it has been a challenge, and I'm quite an ambitious person. I have vision for the business and what I want to do and who I want to help and how I want to help them. And so yeah, that's been probably the one thing that's taken a little bit of adjusting to, is not being able to work on those kinds of projects in the way that I would in a more structured week. But hey, in the grand scheme of things, we're here doing this. We have a ton of time to enjoy each other's company, to spend time in nature, to explore sites and cities and tastes and cultures and speak to the local people and all kinds of things that we've done. And we've really had a rich and full experience, and I think that to me is so much more important. The business growth can wait. It'll happen when it happens, and this is one of those opportunities that's not going to happen every year for us, right? And it's kind of a once in a lifetime, especially with my daughter being the age that she is. So I've just really embraced that. I hope you've enjoyed coming behind the scenes with me, running my business, living, working, mothering, all of it on the road, traveling full time. If you want to learn more about starting or shaping or scaling your own dream life business so that it creates the funds and the time that you need to live your dream life, then check out the link below. I'll pop it here, but it'll also be in the description box. I have a freebie for you, a gift from me to you, and it is the 4 key things that I see keeping business owners from having both the time and the money at that winning combo at the same time that they need to live their dream life. There are 4 really common mistakes that I've seen over the years. I've been a business owner myself for 6 years. I've helped dozens and dozens of people to create their own dream life businesses and live their dream lives as a result. And so I've seen it all at this point, and there are 4 really common themes, 4 things that keep people stuck from creating both the time and the money. Sometimes we can get one and not the other. You get to have both. You get to have them soon. You get to have them at the same time, but you need to avoid these 4 traps. So if you're curious to know what those are, head to the link in the description or this link right here and check out that free guide for you. It is packed with value. I am not the kind to put out anything with fluff or filler. I don't like to waste people's time. Time is precious, right? Time is what makes us rich. So if that sounds good to you, go and grab yours for free. And wherever you are, my love, until next time, go and live your dream life. Bye for now.